Hello and welcome to our live LinkedIn live session from closing books to driving strategy, CFO 2.0 with SAP. My name is Nik. I'm here on behalf on Pronix Inc, hosting this session with two amazing speakers. So what are we going to talk about today? Today's finance leaders are moving beyond manual reporting and compliance to real-time data-driven strategy. So these sessions will explore how organizations are using SAP tools like Central Finance, Group Reporting, SAC, and AI-driven automation tools to build an autonomous, touchless finance function. We will cover how SAP helps eliminate manual work, accelerate close cycles, unify finance and operations, and deliver predictive insights that enable faster, smarter decision-making. You'll also hear practical steps to kickstart your autonomous finance journey and key priorities from CFOs heading into 2026. A couple of words about us. Pronix Inc. helps enterprises modernize finance using all these tools that I just mentioned. From SAP, we enable CFOs to streamline process, accelerate the close, unified data, drive real-time strategic decision-making through secure and scalable autonomous finance solutions. So let me welcome our speakers to today's discussion. We have two representatives from, we can say, different points of view, which will help us to enrich the conversation. And the first one here today is Mandrila Sengupta. Please give us a couple of words about your background.
Yeah, I'm Mandrila Sengupta. I have been in more than 25 years in the hardcore finance, and last 7 years, more than 7 years, I am into the finance dealing with SAP, and I have also undergone the SAP upgradation to S/4HANA, and we have seen that how SAP can help us in the data integration from the different functions to like bringing it into a common platform for a better decision makings and giving us a good viewership into the profitability and the forecastings. So I'm all for SAP over here. So we want to now, like we are looking forward to speak actually about what's going to be our CFO 2.0 for the next year and how the role is evolving with the help of SAP.
Okay,
So
thank you.
that's
Yeah, you
from
have.
my side.
Yeah, thank you. You have a lot of experience with it, and I'm sure you have high expectations as well. And also we have here a representative of SAP, Megha Gupta. Please give us also a couple of words about your background.
So, hello everyone. I am Megha Gupta and I work at SAP India. I am the solution advisor, finance specialist. So, I look after AI in finance, which is talk of the town. And apart from that, I specialize in the closing piece of finance. So that is going to be the topic for today. And I have been working around 4 years with SAP, and it's been a great journey where we go in front of the customers. We love to take their feedbacks, how we can completely keep on improving. And I think in 2026 there are going to be a lot of innovations that are coming into picture, and whatever promises that we have kept, I think by the end of the 2025 we will be delivering them. And as we go on into the session, we will talk more what are the innovations that has been brought by SAP, who are the customers who have already adopted it. And I think no better than Mandrila as a SAP user, she can give us more perspective about it. And I'm really happy to join this call, and let's have a great session together.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, definitely AI is talk of the town, and given your specialization, I'm sure you get asked a lot of questions all the time. So let's cover some of them. And I want to kick off this discussion with a question about the role of the CFO, because we understand that it is shifting, it's been shifting, and especially now it's shifting from reporting and compliance to becoming a real-time strategic partner in decision-making. So what can you tell us about the role? Like Mandrila, you have definitely seen the process of shifting. What can you tell about what's happening in the area?
Thanks, Nik, for the questions. And yes, the role of CFO is no longer a custodian of numbers. We don't hold the numbers to our closer to us, and then like we are doing a postmortem of the numbers, what could have been done. No. So what is happening as a CFO? We are more now a enabler. We are a co-pilot to the CEO. How we can be that? Because we have the real-time data, predictive models, and integrated systems where like a CFO can influence the pricing, the profitability, the supply chain resilience, and the investment strategy, which is basically a great help to do a forward thinking and I would say modeling, a focused modeling, where like we are no longer doing a postmortem of the incident, what has already happened, but we are doing a forward thinking with the real time data at that particular moment. So basically, like what we are doing, we are expected to anticipate the risk instead of like what has happened and postmortem making sure the risk mitigation, but we are anticipating the risk and we are acting based on the risk, what we have anticipated with the educated data in our hand in real time. So that's what I think giving CFO an additional arms to be the co-pilot to the CEO for the future of the company.
It sounds more complex, but at the same time, CFOs now have more tools. So, Megha,
Yeah.
what can you tell us about the SAP vision for this shift?
So, like extrapolating to what Mandrila has said, I would like to bucket the answer into three parts. So, initially, the finance department was seen more as a scorekeeper. They were just there to crunch the numbers, get those reports, and everything was done manually. Then, around the 2010s, 2014, they were more seen as a financial steward, where we expected them to get those real time data. And from that, they would take decisions, like she told, what has not only seen about what has happened, but what we can do. But today, CFOs are being seen more as a strategic partner. How can you drive that growth? How can you make a company more agile? If there's a tariff that has been put, how is going to affect my planning? How is it going to affect my forecasting? So that is where the role of CFO has grown. And this is how SAP has also kept in trend. So I will just take a step back and would like to map how a CFO has grown is where SAP has also grown. So when at the time when the CFO was seen more as a scorekeeper, SAP was also had a transactional system like R1, R2, R3. Then came the world of ECC, right? But then we used to think that the user interface was not that great, and then we came with S4 HANA, where we merged the analytical and transactional layer into one, because of which we improved the processing. You get those real time numbers which actually help the CFOs. And now it's about AI in finance, how we can not only automate the finance department but make it autonomous. So I would just like to summarize that the role has evolved from a scorekeeper to a strategic partner, and SAP has also followed the footstep of our customers and kept delivering innovation day after day.
Okay, and I want to follow up with like, okay, we have companies who understand that the role has evolved, or on the contrary, we have CFOs who understand that they have to be more proactive. So if they want to start using real-time data, more strategic, like become more strategic with using it, where is the biggest opportunity? Where should they shift their like? Where is like the first thing they should take a look at?
Sure.
Should I start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mandrila,
sure.
yeah, Mandrila,
Yeah,
yeah.
please go ahead.
I
I will
believe.
follow you. Please.
So like you so just like you told, right, that what are the low hanging fruits that they can move to. So I think finance as a department needs to move from being just in hindsight to foresight. You cannot only always depend till the month end and get to know, okay, what has happened, what are those closing activities that are affecting my closing cycle. You need to move towards during the month end. Like currently, when you do your consolidation, it is mostly done in the batch activities and during the month end. But we want to change that mindset and bring it in real time. We want that you do your currency translation activities or your intercompany matching and reconciliation in real time. We want you to have those dashboards which help you monitor your financial closing process. So I think you need to use that real time data and change your approach from just being in the in the phase of what has happened to what is going to happen.
Thank you. And Mandrila, what do you think? Like, how does SAP's vision align with your experience and expectations?
To continue with what Megha has just explained, I would say that yes, when we are talking about a real-time data, which means a real-time profitability for me, a real-time show of the what is happening in my cash flow. So these things are the two important mark which will give me a quick decision making and forward-looking decision making in terms of what would be my pricing, what would be my investment strategies, what could be the what kind of the risk I can mitigate. So also like I can do a real time analytics, right? So this real time analytics will be like escalate to a newer level rather than actually I wait something wrong happens and at the end of the month and we found out, oh no, this has happened now, like what to do, how to mitigate this now, how do I present. No, I have a heads up beforehand because I have a real time data, right? And I take a decision actually that moment for regarding pricing, regarding my investment, regarding my what is going to happen with my next supply chains, these things, whether I have enough cash flow to sustain. So these things, of course, is a real advantage to have a real-time data in front of me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And like this leads perfectly in the next question. So we're talking about real-time finance, and that also goes into like, yeah, we have not just real time, but we now can do prediction. We have predictive insights. So Megha, question to you, like how exactly SAP is enabling this real-time finance? Like how, like can you go a bit more into detail of what can be used for planning, for strategy? How can you help company for that?
Great. That's a great question. So I would like to, like Mandrila as a customer, as a user, has touched on the pain points of most of the customer. Every time we go to a CFO, their first two requirement is tell me how is my cash flow going to look like. And like it's 90% of the customers who I visit, this is their requirement because cash is the blood, right? So first of all, let's take a step back and see, dive into a little bit of technicality. How do you get that real time data? So in the world of ECC, we had a lot of tables that were there. But when we talk about S4 HANA, we removed those tables. So we introduced a concept of universal journal where you do not have so many tables. There's just one table, and that is your single source of truth, because of which you get real time data. Now, once you have that real time data within your S4 HANA, we provide you embedded analytics, which was the requirement, like Mandrila also said. As a CFO, they want to look what is the analytics. So within S4 HANA, we provide you with embedded analytics, like a different dashboards, be it a accounts payable overview dashboard, accounts receivable overview dashboard, general ledger overview. So it's a persona-wise dashboard that we provide you. Now, let's move into how it is reshaping into planning and strategy. You have your S4 HANA system, you have your single source of truth. On top of that, you have your embedded analytics, which is giving you your view persona wise. Now, if you want to do your planning and strategy, we provide an integration from your S4 HANA to SAP Analytics Cloud, where you can do your planning, your budgeting, and your forecasting. Now, this integration, you can also create your different simulations. Like I had mentioned, right? There are value driver trees. How will my pricing going to change my profitability? These are the kind of different analysis that you can carry on. The last step into this is about AI. So what we have brought into picture is right now within SAP Analytics Cloud, you can create your own simulations. But what if now you can also fetch an external report, like I told it as an example, tariff, inflation. So, how is external parameters going to affect your planning? Even that can be done. So, to summarize my answer, you have single source of truth. On top of you have embedded analytics. Now, with this S4 HANA, you can integrate within your SAP Analytics Cloud where you can do your planning, budgeting, and forecasting. And now you can also use AI on top of this to fetch external result. So we are providing you with a complete ecosystem where you can analyze, plan, and forecast. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Megha. And before we continue, just want to remind everybody watching that please write down your questions. We will have time for them at the end of the session. And I want to continue with another one is like we're talking about the simulations. We're talking about having everything in one place. So we're talking about autonomous finance. A lot of companies are interested in that. So for those who are just beginning their journey towards that, what should be the top 2, 3 priorities? Mandrila, I guess it's a question to you and your experience, first of all.
Okay, when we are talking about autonomous finance functions, so first thing what comes into our mind is that what are the repetitive activities where my team is spending most time? Repetitive, which are bulk activities, which are spending a lot of time on that, like it would be definitely the invoicing, AR or AP. So I would definitely want something which will be automated, this AR and the AP functions, where like all the invoicing they gets uploaded into the system. So it becomes more or less like a touchless process. So the team becomes more free to do the rather than uploading a data or punching a data, they are more into the finding out the insights rather than transactions. So they look into the data. So today, the team is more busy into the uploading and fetching the data, invoicing and all this. But they don't have at the end of the month to see that whether they have done a correct input of data, what is the ultimate uh, closing coming out of the what is the data being put into the system, right? So when these things becomes automated, so they don't have to, they are avoiding this bulk activities and they can then more focus on the insight of the data and finding out the correct data clear and giving a proper analytic report that okay, this has to be taken action, this is good, this is not good, this what can be done. So I would rather go for the APAR reconciliations and then the uploading data, the forecasting model, and all whatever the high volume tasks are there, which if this can be automated with the accuracy and the control, that would be the best thing to start with.
Right, yeah.
So this will actually, this foundation enables the finance to operate more as a real-time strategic partner, because I'm taking out the bulk.
Yeah, going back to what we were talking about, yeah, that's the bigger role and bigger responsibility, but there are tools. So, Megha, can you maybe tell us now a bit more about this automated finance function? Like,
Yes.
yeah, because we're talking about these priorities. So, how
Yes.
would you now implement these priorities?
So, like she told, right? We want what are her priorities to automate. So, what our vision of SAP is, we not only want to automate your process, we also want to make them autonomous. So, first, I will talk about automation there. Like Mandrila told, CFOs are looking for AP, AR, those process which requires a lot of daily operational tasks, right? She wants to minimize, and from there, she wants to move to more value driven insight. So, let's take an example, a real life example that SAP already has as their offering. So within the AR, we have something called as cash application. What it does is, suppose if your customer is you have a payment that your customer is going to send you after some days, like They have bought it from you, but they are sending it to you after some days. So within your books, you have open receivable items, right? Open items. And once you receive those payments in the form of in your Outlook, in the form of your payment advice, so our standard RPAs or bots can fetch them, and they can use machine learning. So suppose if there's a single payment for multiple invoice, it can understand that using machine learning because it is trained on your data. Once it understands, it will itself clear those items and provide you a proposal. So that is what I'm coming from. We don't want to just operate. So you see, in currently within S4 HANA, you have bank statement reconciliation, which where you set rules, and those rules are rigid. Like if there's a typo error or there's a single payment, it will not be able to clear that. But with cash application, we are using machine learning and which is a part of artificial intelligence to clear that. Now talking about AP, we have something called as GRIR reconciliation. So that can also do this matching. So we want to automate, even SAP is looking at this. We want to minimize your daily operational tasks, and we want finance team to look after the value added tasks. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and I want to follow up to Mandrila. What do you think? Like from the listed functions, what should finance departments pay special attention to? Like, what should be a priority here?
In fact, my priority is always to be the AP and the ARs, and also like if there is a kind of a intergroup reporting formats. So basically, we are doing a couple of the repetitive work there. So basically, the whole idea is to avoid repetitive bulk work and more focus on the strategies, more focus on the insights of the reports, what we can generate. So that's I think as a priority, as Megha mentioned, as I have mentioned before, APAR, forecasting, bank reconciliations. Then like if I can stretch from the finance function to the inventory, supply chain, the purchase orders, like there is a auto generation of the POs, there is a one-touch generations of the inventory GRs and these good receipts. So there are a lot of things like we can do in parallel to start with, actually.
Yeah, and sounds like a lot. Like sounds like a long process. Like how fast do you believe it? Like a company can start switching to these automated processes. Question to both of you. Yeah, but
I think Megha would be in the SAP. She can give a better actually regarding the process. But I feel that it's on the data side, so like how clean the data is, how correct, clean the data available, because based on that, actually, this automation process can start. But I'm sure Megha can give a better idea what is happening behind.
So Nik,
yeah,
I
yes,
just want
please.
to confirm. This is what you're asking, right? How can we build a reliable single source of truth? Correct?
Yeah, like for example, yeah. So we have talked about the functions. We can talk about the priorities in them, and now I'm kind of leading into this like how fast the company can start, like
So that completely, yeah.
benefiting from all this.
Yeah, so that completely depends on the scope of the project, right? What is the solution that you're picking up? How much is your data customized? So that depends from the size, from an industry, from the customization that a customer has done. So it depends from different company to company. So for that, we need to talk to the customer. We conduct deep dive workshops with that customer. Then we understand their landscape. And based on that, we tell them these are your problems, these is what we have mapped as your solutions, and this is our recommendation which solution can solve that.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have let's move on with our questions and with our topics. Let's talk about SAP Group Reporting and how it is transforming consolidations and close cycles, which is your specialty. So can you tell us more about these processes?
Sure. So even Mandrila had mentioned, right, that she looks after intercompany reporting as well, correct? So what happens is that currently most of your how traditional consolidation works is it's mostly batch process. Most of the activities are done during the period end, be it your data mapping, your reconciliation, your currency translation, your validations, your elimination, and then you prepare your financial report. So, what group reporting does is it tries to bring 70% of those activities during the month end. And how it is able to do is so, group reporting sits within your S4 HANA. And because it sits within your S4 HANA, both your local accounting and group accounting has got the same master data. So, in a traditional system, you have to map this, you have to do this extraction, then you have to do the mapping, and then you have to load that data. But we are the only players in this market where group with if you have your local accounting and group accounting within S4 HANA, you don't have to do this because they have a shared master data. Second, because they have a shared master data, now you can do real time consolidation, like your currency translation, your local and group currency can be done together. Within as group reporting, we have a feature called as intercompany matching and reconciliation. So today, company A and company B, if company A sells something to company B, they both have to recognize that in that book, right? But when they are being reported at the consolidated level, this needs to be removed. So this activity can also be done in real time. So you see, I just tried to give you example what were those activities which was being done during the month end can be done during your period end. And now this group reporting, like within because it sits within S4 HANA, can be integrated to your SAP Analytics Cloud, where you can also do your unified planning. So all in all, with group reporting, we are the only player in the market that does not require ETL, and you can do your consolidation in real time.
Okay, thank you. Mandrila, maybe you can give us a couple of comments on your experience with using these kind of tools.
As Megha had mentioned, yes, we had last year implemented this group reporting, this one, and yes, it is very helpful because now we have a corporate tax and we require the transfer pricing. So for the transfer pricing itself, like it is a very helpful things when we are doing the real time actually reportings between the intercompany because where the transfer pricing is required. So we put a kind of a mapping where like it really helped us for the corporate tax filing also when we had to go for the tier 2 on terms of the transfer pricing as because I worked with a European company, so it was really helpful. And other than that, there is a in the group reporting, what we have seen is that there is a lot of data duplications we could avoid. Once in the group level, there's something where when we are at the same platform, it is being loaded. So we don't have to repeat it because it's there in my system, actually. So that eliminates a kind of a lot of deloading my intercompany work. So this I find pretty helpful, actually. As Megha has said, I do agree with her.
So, if you allow me, like what Mandela said, one of our customers, like it's a big Indian conglomerate company, they were doing their closing around, it used to take them 20 to 22 days. But using group reporting, they're able to do it within their 10-12 days. So, you see that it saves 8 to 10 days. And for them, flash reporting is available just the next day. And this is a conglomerate, like a huge company, Indian company. So, we have seen that group reporting has yielded a lot of benefit to a lot of customers across different industries. So SAP operates across 26 industries. So we have those specialization to cater to each of those 26 industries.
Sounds like an impressive efficiency that you're giving to the companies like that. Right. But yeah, continuing the talk about the automation, we cannot avoid AI. So we know that SAP also has AI tools and AI services that you are also providing. So what are the biggest impacts do you see that you can do with these tools? Because
Yeah.
it's also for finance as well.
So before moving into what SAP has to offer, I will just give you a data point. I'm a Gartner person, so I was just reading Gartner report, and it had a data point that in 2023, 38% of the finance team were using one of the AI solutions for finance. Correct. In 2024, it jumped to 58%. So you see that 20% change, like 58% people were using. Now by 2026, by the end of 2026, it's going to be 90% of finance teams would be using at least one AI enabled solution. So you see how it is being adopted. Because when we go in from the customers, their biggest requirement is, like Mandrila told, we don't want to do operational activities. It's just the repetitive task that can be done by the machines that we have. And this is what we want to provide. We want CFOs to focus on value added activities. And in line to this is the Gartner number that we have done. With SAP, we had promised that we would deliver 400 embedded AI use cases by the end of year 2026. Currently, if I checked it last week, we have already delivered 333 AI use cases. So we are on a good line to do 400, and we have a lot of agents. So what we have in AI use cases is that within each pillar of finance, be it your planning and budgeting, be it your closing, be it your finance operation, be it your cash management and treasury, or be it your governance, risk, and compliance, we offer AI capability for each one of them. And what we feel is that when you see those AI capabilities, like let me give an example of one of the capabilities which is like most of the CFOs is. So when you're preparing your reports, right, it's it's all manual. You go to Excel, you crunch those numbers, you do a pivot, and then you prepare your reports. You add different commentaries into it, and then suppose you have to do those ad hoc reportings. So it is all done manually. But with SAP, what we have done is it will read all your data, it will read all your numbers, and provide you recommendation that suppose year on year a particular driver has dropped down, why it is dropping down. If it has certain KPI like EBITDA has increased or decreased, why it has decreased, what are those cost centers which has got highest deviation. So you see, AI is doing this financial business. It is giving you those reports. So we have done our own benchmarking. Per report it generally takes around 40 minutes for a person, but when you use AI it takes 20 minutes. So that's a straight 50% reduction, and this is the start. So you just imagine, this is just one of the use cases, and we have got multiple such use cases.
Yeah, and and judging from the numbers, from statistic numbers, you said it sounds like it's just becoming like a common tool, like an Excel, like
So
back in the
we,
day.
we very commonly say, like, this is again the Gartner words that I'm using. AI is not going to replace people. It is going to replace people who doesn't use AI. So it's just like when computer had come, right? So it was not people who were replaced. People who had learned computer, they were able to replace the one who were doing it manually. So I think it's going to be a lot of innovation every day.
Oh yeah, definitely every day, and it's hard to keep up. But people are trying to keep up, including watching this today's session, and continue on the reshaping. Like yeah, there is a lot of reshaping happening because of these tools and their utilization. So Mandrila, microphone to you. How do you believe finance teams are changing thanks to all these possibilities with this automation in general and AI in particular?
Yeah, so finance team, I see that once actually those automation happens and this AI is implemented into the embedded into the system. So basically, first and foremost thing happening is that it is removing all the manual task, all the reconciliation and the manual reporting. So and this invoice processing, as I had mentioned before. So which means that this is allowing the finance teams to shift actually their transaction handling to the more into the analytics and more into the decision making supports, right? So previously what it was, they were just data feeding, doing the transactions. Now like that process gets eliminated. Now you don't have to do that. So what you are doing instead is that you are basically shifting your focus to the more on the analytics, and you're helping the CFO into the decision making. Simple example is like when we are talking about AR. AR instead, before I've seen my team spending hours in the invoice, entering into the system, matching and all this. Now, this after automation, this process is gone. So now like when she is getting a AR report, directly and with the comments on that which particular customer has a problem, where we need to focus and what has happened, who has delayed or who has given advance. So these are very instant things, and which actually coming on your face, giving you a better decision making, and it is also helping you to do a good focus on the forecasting, scenario modeling, and also like commercial partnering with your other stakeholders. So when you are talking to your now the sales or like in the supply chains, you have the data with the scenario modeling with the AI backed up, the comments and what is happening in the market versus like what is there in the system is coming. It is a kind of a ready report in your hand to speak with your stakeholders, be it in the sales or be it in the supply chain, and you can decide on that something forefront rather than doing a postmortem of the things like it has already happened. Now, what to do? Actually, how to be better in the future, right? So it's like more then and there, like you are keeping up with the things and you are more attached to the market, I would say, because when it is a AI is there and giving you the comments, so basically like it is also giving you the input from the what is happening outside, right? So it's more, I would say, realistic. So that's what I feel that like finance talents now more will be into the strong digitals and have a better business skills and strategic value they can add to the system.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. And like what I want to continue with is that we're talking about significant transformation in the finance area. So for an organization who gonna finally go or already starting their transformation, what would be the common challenges that they need to pay attention to?
The biggest challenge is the data here, because when I'm talking about the legacy data, so because before when it was not integrated, it's the data were all siloed, right? I have a data from the inventory, I have a data from the supply chain, I have a finance data. These are all in the silo, these are not talking to each other. So first problem is the data. So first we need to, whenever we are doing automations, we need to have our legacy data cleaned, and the legacy system is cleaned and we have a proper data. This is the first thing. And the second is, of course, when we talk about the AI and these things, the common this thing is that resistance to change. There, people's mind, how it works. And sometimes this is what I'm telling is practically, I've seen people to change. Oh, why do I require this? Okay, work is happening. Your work is going on. Your company is making a balance sheet and final report is coming. Why do I require a change? That resistance in the mind, that why to change. Some young generations, yes, they are very excited to adapt to the new system, but we do see such a resistance also coming. And many actually teams struggle with the inconsistent process. Like they do have a struggle and they love to live in that struggle, and they feel that they have a lack in the digital skills. So maybe like that gets revealed, and maybe if that gets reveal, then maybe like I lose my job. And so I'm just being practical what I've seen. And also, such kind of transformation fails when there is no clear ownership. When the technology is implemented without redesigning the process, and when you are like not aligning the people and the culture of the organization, you are just coming from outside and redesigning something without considering the people and the culture and their mindset and make them convert and all that. So then there is a problem. Actually, these are the challenges what we have seen happening generally.
Yeah, obviously, like the bigger the organization is, and the more data it has, the more challenge it is. And it's what Megha was saying earlier about when I asked about how quick it is to start getting benefits from these tools and approaches. But at the same time, it sounds like nobody should get intimidated. It's more of a it's more of a just process. And it did sound like there are support, there are ways. And Mecca, maybe you can give a couple of more comments of how you help with these challenges.
So I would again map my answer to what Mandrila was saying. So first she told data. I completely agree with this, because what happens is when you have data in different silos, in different system, you want them to talk together. Only then AI can work on it, right? So what SAP has done, they have come up with a strategy which was released initially this year. It is called, first there are three layers to it. First layer is application, second layer is data, and on top of this sits AI. So from your by your applications we mean different business process, be it your HR, be it your sales, be it your finance, everything will work, and that will produce those datas. Now this data might be in different forms. You need to like massage those data and clean those data for them to talk. Then comes your data layer. Now this data needs to brought, like it has to be in a semantic, it needs to be in a uniform way. So second layer is where your data comes in, and we have our own offering of business data cloud, where you can have one data story. Like whenever your data is coming from different system, using our business data cloud, that is where it will be stored and it can talk to each other. Now once your data has been cleaned enough, on top of this will sit AI, which will understand this data. So data is like will be the new oil mine, they say, right? It's because with that data you get all those insights, right? So even if you want, like we are saying that AI would be adopted, you need to have that data in the correct form, only then it can be done. So SAP has proposed this strategy, and we can talk more about business data and cloud and everything. So we specially have those specialists who work on this field. Second, I feel again what Mandrila said, change management. So I will give you my own example. So I've seen people being using GUI as their interface, those T codes, right? So I joined SAP at the time when GUI was removed, those T codes, and we had those Fury screen. And when we go in front of the customer, they're like, why do we even need this? And when you use Fury, it's so easy. You have search bar like Google, so you do not have to remember any T codes. So a person like me who has joined recently, I don't have to learn those T codes. I can just go on those search bar, type accounts payable, accounts receivable. So like she told, that change management is very important. You need to learn that there will be shift. Every technology keeps on changing 5 7 years. Like if you go and see in 2016 17, every time when we used to talk about, it was about data cloud was the technology that was there. Now we are talking about AI. Now next 5 7 years down the line, the technology is again going to change. So that change management and that change mindset change is the most important. So we have different sessions, enablement sessions with our partners, with our customers, where we keep on telling them that they need to be aware that something like this exists and we are there for you to bring that change together.
Thank you for the answer. And once again, I want to remind everyone we have 15 minutes left, so you have time to ask your questions. Please write them in the chat. And there is kind of a question that I see in the chat that would fit here. So you're talking about changing the enablement and changing the strategy of finance, but what role do you see the platforms of SAP they how do you see this influence the strategy of the entire company beyond just the CFO?
Uh, so I am not very sure, like, what does your question mean? Like, can you just explain me more so that I can answer?
Again, I'm reading the question from the chat. I guess how I see this question is like there is a strategy and finance that we're talking about, but what kind of maybe change in the point of in the company strategy in general would need to happen for the finance to work as as efficient with this new approach, if that makes sense, like
So
in the grander scale.
So I think for this, the first thing is that departments should not work in silos. That is what our strategy has been. They have to work together. Like, for example, this is where the concept of agents have also come into picture. Like, we in the starting of the year we were talking about AI, and now it's the talk about agents. So where will agent come into picture is that for example, we have something called as dispute resolution agents. So, agent comes into picture where we want to minimize our human intervention. And just because we were talking about accounts receivable, I will just give you that example. So, what will a dispute resolution agent will do is, suppose there's a dispute that has been raised by a customer that my goods were not of the quality that I was promised. So, they have raised a dispute. So, in a current scenario, you will have to talk to different teams, then get it corrected, and then you will reach back to your customer, right? So you lose a lot of days and efficiency. But with dispute resolution agent, we have that data of that customer, how that customer history has been. So that agent will read those its dispute, will suggest you what it recommends, like in three option, that what can be the three resolution, that you should waive off the money because it's a very important customer to us. This customer keeps on raising such defects, even though sometimes like the behavior has not been that great, they do not do their payment on time. So based on those data points, it is going to give you its recommendation. Once you say, and it will also give you what were the source, what were those agents, what were those different agents in different department that it has used to come up with its recommendation. And with this, it once you say, okay, this is a good recommendation, it will draft an email for you and send it to you. So what was being done manually is being done by agents. So that is what SAP's vision is. If you have the correct data and picture, we do not want your departments to work in silo. We want them to work together so that you get the best of data, best of insights, and best of AI.
Right. It sounds like a good example, but at the end of the day, it's all about sharing information between departments, and be it
Exactly.
finance or anything.
And here also, if you will see, when you have to correct that recommendation, it is just providing a proposal. You would need a human. So it's just doing those operational work that was being done. The value added work is being done by human.
Right. Thank you. So I want to continue with the question that we have is so it's something that you, Megha, remember mentioned it more at the beginning, that you are building like a single place where people get all the information. So like, well, can we talk about a bit more about how companies can build this single source of truth? Because it sounds like one of the most efficient ways. We're going about the AI agents who are sharing information. We're talking about just different approach and strategy. So it's a question to both of you, how companies can build this single source of truth for themselves.
Sure. Mandrila, do you want to take this up or should I go ahead?
Whatever, you start with it, maybe I will add at the end if
Yeah.
anything to add. Okay.
Yeah. So I think this question is the most important one because it involves a lot of technicalities. Right now, what I'm saying, it's easier said than done, is the kind of thing that is going to happen. So, as SAP's best practices, you need to unify your financial and operational data. So your data needs to reside in one place, which is generally not the case, right? So that is why we brought the concept of S4 HANA and Universal Journal, so that you can unify your resources. You need to standardize your process. Even though that is not the case, we know that you have to customize at the end. There has not been even a single customer who will just do it all standardized. You need to customize. But what you can use is, you need to enable the universal journal that we suggest within S4 HANA, because of which you will get real time data. And with that real time data, you can use your embedded analytics also. So, for this, I think you need to standardize your process. You need to unify your transaction and operational data. So, Mandrila, if you want, you can just add.
No, I completely agree with you, Megha. Actually, like you told it all on the technical terms, and
Yeah.
what I understand as a finance professional, not so technical. Actually, yes, we do need a one single source reliable data, which will integrate not only the financials, the other operationals like procurement, sales, inventory, and the quality. So all this data, like once it is in the single table, actually, and which is a clean, correct, and this is to be supported by the data governance and standardized process and automated data flow with real-time validation. So that's definitely going to be the next call of the day, I would say. And yes, we have to move towards that direction, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leads very well into one of the last questions for today. Is that, yeah? So we're looking forward. We're looking to next year and what it has in store for this industry. So what should CFOs prioritize to remain future ready?
Um, okay, so when we are at the end of 2025, that means we are just stepping into the 2026. What I see is that as a CFO, we do prioritize as a real-time decision making, which comes from the real-time data. Uh, and this helps into the more tightening of our cash and the working capital discipline, automation of the transactional finance and data governance, and then integrating AI enabled forecasting, building agile cost structure. And these are the more critical things. So basically, like CFO becomes a better enabler to decide faster and give insight driven decisions and lead our organizations with a resilience. This is like I see the short terms. And over the longer terms, like when I'm talking about 3 to 5 years, maybe I should focus on the complete digital transformations, which everybody would, and that should be the focus with a AI-driven analytics, building an autonomous finance team, which will be having a free capacity to work more on the strategy and strengthening the risk resilience, ESG reporting, which is now coming up very much. So becoming more ESG reporting readiness, like ESG has like different 3 tiers of the costings and all that, which if we get from the systems itself, that really helps. And good capital allocation frameworks, that should be the key. So like us future fit CFO will act as a enterprise value architect, not just a finance leader.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the answer. And I wanted to like maybe lead. There was a question in the chat that I just saw about change of mindset. So we're talking about a lot of things to be ready for. So what kind of mindset change do you believe should CFOs go through? Because if you like look at it from that perspective.
yeah, so when we are talking about the change of mindset, it is like you are no longer doing a first and foremost thing is that you are no longer a data cruncher.
Hmm.
Data, numbers, it is going to happen, and you have to believe that the numbers coming from SAP, it will be too correct with a proper data in the structure and analysis. So you have to go beyond that, right? So you are now like more into the mode where like numbers are already there. You take the decision what you can do with this number, where you can lead the company with this number, where you can take the company to the forward looking with more insights into the future, like more future driven. And I would say like mitigating the risk, more future driven. This mindset coming out from the uh, numbers only CFO, always thinking of the numbers, to this future driven, giving help to the CEO in driving a good strategy, more futuristic, where like your data, is giving you the 100% support, and you don't have to like scrabbles through it and so all that. So that's what I think a change in mindset is.
Yeah, and I see the question that like about the quick results in finance processes with automation, and it sounds like part of a data crunching mindset. So people should look at it in a broad way and change the strategy instead of just trying to automate something and just
Yeah.
get results. So that's what I hear here. Thank you. And Megha, what can you comment about the future of for CFOs and what SAP has in store for next year and further?
So I think where SAP comes into picture is that, and what we feel that for CFO it is going to be important is that you will have to have an AI native finance. Like she told, it is not going to be about just number crunching anymore. If that work, if you are doing within 20 days to do a report, right, to create your annual report, and if your competitor is presenting that annual report within 12 days, that the public, the shareholders will have more trust on the person who is doing within that 12 days, because it shows the transparency, right? So it's just an example that I'm trying to give, that it's time to crawl, walk and run, right? People who would be adopting to the latest trends that are coming, the technology that is coming at a faster pace, will be able to survive in this market. And for that, I feel you will have to make your system more agile. Every CFO wants their digital transformation to be more agile, be it in terms of planning, like how can they continuously predict as in what is going to change. Second, when it, like she told, Mandrila told about cash flow forecasting. How can you do your liquidity planning better so that you know where my money is going to come, so that I know where I want to invest. If I'm investing in this FD, or if I'm investing if in this MF, which is going to give me those better returns. So that prediction and that capability needs to be done on daily basis. And we have to move from being a reactive company to a more proactive company. So these are the priorities that I feel a CFO would be looking into.
Right. Thank you. That sounds like a lot. But it's totally like for companies, the companies who already been kept up with changes are totally ready for everything that's coming next. Right, and we are right on time to for the end of this session. Uh, I don't see any more questions coming up. But yeah, thank you all so much for your answers, for your comments, for your expertise, for sharing your experience. It is invaluable, and I hope and I'm sure that our watchers today have learned a lot throughout this hour. Uh, we talked about automation, we talked about AI, of course, we talked about change of strategy and mindset. We talked about some technical details. If people would want to know more about the tools, where should they look? What kind of resources can you recommend on the tools, you Megha, and maybe Mandrila, what kind of resources maybe on the strategy, or what do you think? What should be the homework after the session for the people?
I think the
Yeah.
first. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mandela. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go
sorry.
ahead. I think the first resource, we are there for you. You just need to contact, go to sap.com, raise an inquiry, and we are at a doorstep. It's like we want people to be more aware. We are for this. We are made for this. We want to interact, like interacting with you guys today. I just feel that I have accomplished something. I got to learn so much from Mandrila. I got to learn so much from the questions that there are there, because it helps us to ponder more. So we are there. We have our different events being organized in different cities, in different countries. You can check our SAP website where it shows the list of events. When it comes to AI, we have something called as Discovery Center. I will paste that link to the chat. It's a publicly available link. It shows you what are the latest AI innovation use cases happening in different lines of business within finance. And yes, that's it. And I think Mandrila can help with the strategy part of it.
Yeah, you're right. Honestly speaking, with the SAP being there, actually from that, we were using it as a legacy like software to the how it has improved. And when we have also upgraded our system and we see that what are the robust I would say things SAP can provide, and also like it is going upgradations to the current, I would say, demand of the time actually. So this really, really are very helpful. In fact, for today's session, I had also learned so much from Megha about the backends and what happens at the different layers and all that, which definitely I would request the companies to implement as a next stage. And because honestly speaking, like I have done up to the in whatever is the last upgradation we have done for our company, to that we haven't reached this level of the AI yet. Like when she was talking about that what the system can do about the particular customers, the comments out generating these things. And I was thinking that, oh, we do it so much time we waste manually going from one department to another department, taking their comments, then we are integrating the thing and then sending the mail to the customer. So these are the things actually, yes, we have to keep up with what is happening around us, whatever is the development is happening in terms of a SAP, what is they are offering as a latest to cope up with the automations, with the cope up with the AI demand as per the market. And don't waste time. I mean, upgrade your SAP, or if you are not in the SAP, just implement SAP and like see the reap the benefit. I engage your time into something more fruitful rather than crunching numbers.
Thank you, thank you to you both. Yeah, like you talking to your audience, you heard them. You have resources. You definitely should go and check out SAP resources and events. You can also reach out to Pronix, because Pronix can help you with implementing these solutions and build your autonomous finance organizations and get speed, accuracy, and real-time intelligence. Once again, thank everyone for watching this session and being on this with us. Thank you, Megha and Mandrila, for this amazing conversation. And I'm looking forward for the future session on this and other topics in the near future. And excited to see what SAP is going to present next year.
Thank you. Thanks, Nik. Thanks, Megha.